You're listening to WOCA, Ocala. Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. If you're watching the streaming video, we were just talking about streaming video of the Olympics. No Olympics right now, just job finding. Laura Byrnes is here from CareerSource, and if you're looking at Laura, boy, she's looking sharp. Those are nice colors on you. I like those colors. They do you good. You got a great complexion. Laura Byrnes is our go-to lady when it comes to either finding a job or finding talent. It depends if you're approaching that whole subject as an employee or an employer. And CareerSource Citrus-Levy-Marion is whom Laura Byrnes represents, and we're going to find out about some jobs today. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
How uncomfortable are you with me complimenting you? Is that uncomfortable?
Well, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit, really. But you look so good. Look at you. You got a great smile. Your skin is so perfect.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Your hair looks good.
Okay.
Should I stop? Should I stop?
Please stop. That would be
Okay, I have a question I want to ask you.
Okay.
And I have some old. Later on, we're going to play a game, and it's based on these old trivia questions that Bob Houck wrote about Florida and about Ocala.
Okay.
Probably these may be 15, 20 years old.
Okay.
Well, maybe not that old. But anyway, so one of the questions says, who's the biggest employer in Ocala? Ooh. And the answer on here, anyway, is Walmart. Is that still true?
I don't.
You're not sure?
I don't have that information.
And what was the thing we heard? Was it Automax or something is moving?
AutoZone is coming in right next to FedEx grounds.
So that's going to be a big warehouse operation?
A distribution hub.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to that.
It's a dumb question, but is there like a railroad track up against it? Why are they choosing those locations?
Well, it's just right off the interstate. And
it's a trucking place.
Fantastic, crossroads for the state. It's centrally located. So Ocala is becoming that for sure. It's been a crossroads for a long time. We have different organizations. One I'm familiar with, the Florida Public Relations Association. I just learned we're bringing all our state board meetings and state executive meetings will be held in Ocala, which is awesome for me. I don't have to travel and pay for hotels.
And for a while there in the newspaper, they were calling Ocala an inland port.
Sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I love that expression.
We have an international airport. We have interstate. We have state roads. It's a fantastic location. It's easy. It's accessible. So yeah, Ocala's got Marion County's got a lot going for it, but this whole area does.
So the jobs you have today, we're going to learn about?
Well, yeah, today we're going to do sort of like a cleanup grab bag of different things. We've had employers on a number of times, and that's fantastic. But every now and then we just need to step back and kind of catch up with a lot of stuff going on. I wanted to start with just talking about the employment situation first because, we kind of lose sight with the Olympics and the conventions and all that stuff. We kind of lose sight of where we are. And there's a tendency in the summer to have the sky is falling mentality because what we see, and it's seasonal every single summer.
Really?
And I've said this before, regardless of what the economic climate is, whether the unemployment rate is around, hovers around 3 or 4%, or when it was up around 14, 15%, the same thing happens. Every summer we get a summer spike or summer slump, if you want to call it that. And that means typically starting in June, we see the unemployment rate start to go up. It peaks in July, so we should see, with the unemployment report that comes out Friday, a summer peak for July because that is the report. And then historically, and I've tracked this back to 1991, in every single instance except during the Great Recession, the unemployment rate rebounds, comes back down to that pre-spike level, or in most cases lower than that by September, October. So that's just because of the nature of, we see the public education support personnel, they're out for the summer. We see college students coming back to their hometowns for summer break and they're looking for work. So a number of things. In some areas, agriculture is affected during the summer. So it's normal. Please don't panic.
And the numbers really are only important, I guess, on a big picture scale. But to the individual, I mean, if he or she is working, that's everything.
Sure. And you bring up a really good point. When we look at it month to month, and we've talked about this before, when you're trying to lose weight, you don't step on the scale every 5 minutes. You're probably not going to see a lot of progress. But if you do it like on a weekly basis,
you're sick.
You're going to be very sad. But the important thing is not to look at the seasonal month-to-month variations, but look at the business cycle. So where were we a year ago in July? And just to give some numbers here for some perspective. So the June unemployment rate, which is what we're still working with, is 6.0%.
And this is for Marion County only?
That's for the region. For Marion County, it was 5.8%.
Okay.
Which is good.
Well, yeah, it's not bad, but it had dropped down a little lower. But that was a little bit of a spike for us. Unemployment in Marion County went up a little bit to about 7,600. That was an increase of, I want to say 722, something around there. But a year ago, the unemployment rate for the same month, comparing apples to apples, was 6.6%. So you can see it's come down nearly a full percentage point.
Yeah.
And there were 8,622 jobless a year ago. Now, we're going to get the new numbers on Friday for July. I do expect that we will likely see a slight increase.
And now who supplies the numbers to you, and how do they break it out?
That comes from the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity, DEO, and they have a labor market statistics team, the state's chief economist and her team. And a lot of that comes from the U.S. Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's super complicated. There is what they call it's a home survey where they track people and they ask them, have you looked for work in the past X period of time, to gauge who's employed, who's unemployed, who may have dropped out of the labor force. Now, at the same time, we've seen a little spike in unemployment rate. We have seen a greater increase in the labor force, and that means more people are going in looking for work than the increase in the number of unemployed. So that's a very positive sign. That shows job seeker optimism in the economy. So
the person who was out of work last year, who was part of that unemployment number, who is now working and is not part of that number, but only works 20 hours a week and therefore is still struggling and doesn't get any benefits and all that. Is that somehow figured in there? What do we call that? The underemployed?
Underemployed, yeah. And I don't have the breakdown specifically on that, but I can tell you that when we look at the job openings, the positions for our area, for our county, the vast majority are full-time positions and not.
Well, all the people you bring in here always have full-time opportunities, always have benefits. I mean, it always is a really healthy-looking picture when the folks who come in here represent their organizations.
Sure. Yeah. And also last month, lest we forget, we had more than 2,000 job seekers turn out for the FedEx Ground hiring event, for the Episcopal Children's Services hiring event, for the Marion County Fire Rescue hiring event. So, I say we could expect a little boost in unemployment rate, but who knows? Maybe, we had a lot of hirings. We know FedEx opened earlier this month. And so there's been a lot of churning in the labor market, a lot of folks looking for work, a lot of folks.
And usually business begets other business. Usually
Absolutely.
There's a restaurant opening near I'm guessing. I don't know if it's happened yet, but.
Yeah. There's lots of new places opening. That sort of happens.
When anything opens big, then other businesses happen. A car repair place or
definitely
a sandwich shop, that kind of thing.
And another thing that's kind of great for the Ocala MSA, the Metropolitan Statistical Area, in June we posted the second fastest job growth rate in manufacturing at 6.6%. That's amazing. I mean, you're seeing places in Florida with negative growth in manufacturing, and we are the second
that's
fastest.
really good.
And that's been consistent since the beginning of the calendar year, to be honest. And here's something that might surprise folks. Financial activities, we took a real that hit us hard. That is the third fastest metro growth rate in the state at 4.9%. So that's really exciting to see that.
We will take a little break and be right back. By the way, if you have any questions about how CareerSource might be able to benefit you, either looking for work or looking for talent to fill a spot at your place of employment, Laura can answer those questions on the air. We'll take that break. 622-9622 when we come back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly sunny today. We'll have an inland thunderstorm during the afternoon. High of 90 to 92, and then it clears back out tonight, a low of 71 to 76. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny. Any shower thunderstorm will be very spotty near the coast in the morning, but it's really going to be widespread thunderstorms during the afternoon hours inland. High of 89 to 92 both days. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure. Plus, they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
Fellow Marion County voters, let's do a common sense resume check on the two Republican candidates for sheriff. Kerry Crawford offers 36 years of law enforcement and 25 plus years of senior command and management experience. His opponent has no upper management experience. None. Let that sink in. You've been asked to promote someone from being a shift supervisor to running a massive and dynamic 750 employee and $70 plus million organization with no experience. Common sense tells us that's not a good move. That's why common sense voters will vote Kerry Crawford, sheriff of Marion County. He's ready.
Political advertisement paid for and approved by Kerry Crawford, Republican from Marion County Sheriff.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When we start dating somebody, we subconsciously begin to take on each other's personality traits. It's a subconscious way of becoming more compatible. Our decision to pay with cash or credit can influence everything from the way food tastes to how much we enjoy a movie, for example. Overweight people who slowed down when eating, took in far fewer calories, felt full sooner, and lost a lot of weight.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
WWWWOCA
Be sure to tune in to Ocala's longest-running morning radio talk show.
AM Ocala Live from 7 a.m. till noon weekdays.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Laura Byrnes is here from CareerSource, Citrus-Levy-Marion, and gosh, I don't ever want to be looking for work. Well, I don't mind looking for work, is like what Robin and I do on the side, but to have nothing every day trying to get something is hard. You know what movie we saw? We saw the new Woody Allen movie.
Oh, okay.
And
Cafe Society.
Yeah, Cafe Society, and it's about this guy who moves from New York to L.A. and he's looking for work. And of course, he's got an uncle out there who won't, I guess, but I'm not going to tell you the whole story. But the point is, he's looking for work, and he had a nice place. I'm thinking, boy, he must have moved out with some money. Because when I was out in L.A. looking for work, I was afraid I was going to be living in my car.
It's not real.
Did you ever go through that period of where you were so desperate and you were worried?
I was down to my last $5 in my savings.
Did you really? Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
I can remember those days.
Yikes. Anyway, well, that's why, thank goodness, CareerSource Citrus-Levy-Marion is here. And please go to CareerSourceCLM.com or give us a call at 1-800-434-JOBS to find out any more about what we offer. And I just want to piggyback on what you were talking about. Sometimes it's cool to get a cool new career, and air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration. I just came up with that
good.
just
That
on
was
the
good.
spot.
That's
so good, Laura.
That's the newspaper writer.
It's really
in you.
heating up. And we have scholarships for eligible students, and there's a program that starts September 6th. It's just 2 months, and in 2 months you can earn your preventative maintenance and installer certification. So please call us at 1-800-434-JOBS, extension 1236, if you'd like to learn more, or go to our short-term training page on our website and learn more, because that's happening. We also have financial aid available for training in occupations, high in-demand occupations. It's called our Area Targeted Occupations List. And those classes are available at Marion Technical College, Withlacoochee Technical College, Taylor College, CF, New Horizons, Rasmussen College, and others. And these are like everything from certified nursing assistants and practical nursing to welding, electronics, law enforcement, radiology, trucking. I mean, these are high demand.
Oh my gosh!
And we can help pay for your training.
That is the best to do. Somebody who really, if you're bumping up against that catch-22, where I'm sorry you can't. If you've never had experience, then you can't work. Or you don't have the education, but you know in your heart you could do it, but you don't have that paper that says you can. Yeah, those scholarships are everything.
I'm telling you, they are. And if you say, gosh, I don't have time to commit to a classroom brick and mortar type program, we have a ton of e-learning modules, programs that you can, and they're free. And you can access them also through us. And the neat thing is, once you register with us through the Employ Florida Marketplace, you can get a certificate of completion for any of the available classes. And that's something you can put on your resume, you can take to the employer, and those include customer service reps, Microsoft, basic and advanced, call center technology, workplace skills, social media, just all kinds of, just all over the place.
We actually had a lady, or first thing this morning, she came on and she was talking about how she works for Intel, and they're looking for talent to help them with their program to counter cyber threats.
Cybersecurity,
So that's a whole new world opening up for people.
The classes started August 9th, but we had scholarships for cybersecurity training as well as automation and production technology. Unfortunately, those classes are underway, but I'm sure
there'll be another one
again. So call that number I gave you, that 434-JOBS at 100 extension 1236, and be sure if you're interested to get on that wait list for that. But speaking of Intel and jobs and all that good stuff, I don't want to get out of here without talking about some hiring events that we have.
Yes.
These are exclusive to the employers. And so tomorrow, our good friends at Sitel, they are hiring customer service reps, and that will be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. over at our Career Center. That is on Northeast 14th Street. Then on Monday, August 22nd, Caregiver Services from 10 a.m. to 2. They're looking for certified nursing assistants, and that's also at our Career Center. Then on August 25th, that's a week from Thursday, Dash Transport, they are looking for non-emergency medical transport drivers, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2. That's going to be at our Lecanto Career Center. And then on August 31st, Ocala Community Care, they will be at our Ocala Career Center from, I cut off the time, but sorry about that. They're hiring a licensed mental counselor, a licensed practical nurses, and registered nurses. And also on that same date, Sitel, again, is having a hiring event from 10 a.m. to 1. But that's going to be at their location, so that's kind of cool. You get to see what Sitel's all about.
What do they do?
Because they handle incoming customer service calls. They have different clients. I think certainly during the holidays that's a busy time. And Sitel has got a gorgeous facility. You really like that. But those are all you can find out about those on our calendar of events.
You have writing skills, and we have a lot of friends actually that either write for publications or they're creative writing, things like that. Some of the jobs that some of them have, either on the side or as full-time jobs, are public relations jobs. Is that new, or because I don't think I've heard about this many PR jobs, like every business seems to have somebody who is talented like you are in being able to, I guess, sell the business or at least make the community aware of what they do.
Certainly what I see is that if you do a search on like EFM for public relations, you will see that as a component of another position. So I'm the executive, if they're hiring an executive director of a nonprofit, and you also need to be skilled in public relations, communications, communicating the proposition and the mission and all that stuff. So I don't know that there are tons of PR jobs.
But we're at the receiving end of that, doing radio, and as you are in the newspaper also. And I know you're not there now, but the ones who are skilled at it are very, very successful in getting the word out about what they're doing. A good example is the fundraiser they're doing at the local AFL. I don't know if I should say their name during your show. Should I say their name? Palm Garden? Assisted living facility. Okay. But anyway, they're selling pizzas to raise money for their Alzheimer's support group. Well, gosh, they made it real clear, and they made it look tasty too. But I'm just using it as an example because it's sitting.
I want pizza.
I know. But see, they got the word out real easy, so that we, as the impatient people that we are on radio, we can just read it, and there you go. Now the community knows what it is.
Yeah, well, it is a skill, and I happen to have 2 credentials. I'm accredited in public relations, and I'm a certified public relations counselor. Those don't.
You've won awards for that.
I've won awards for that. Yeah. That's not easy to come by, and people who know what they're doing can be very successful.
Well, and this is what you're doing for CareerSource, actually. I mean, you are a public relations person.
That is what I do for them, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm fascinated by the idea that perhaps, I don't know if the mall has one, but it seems like a lot of places have recognized the need for that position.
Oh, sure. Well, you can be the best business in the world, but if people don't know about you, you're operating in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So, we certainly don't see public relations as the be-all, end-all, but it's holistic. You have to be able to recognize and work with the whole organization.
Creativity is important too. Just being able to write is maybe half of the other half is coming up with the ideas of what to write about.
See, that's a whole another program, and you can invite us on to talk about that another time. But right now, we've got some jobs, and we like folks to give us a call and get started, and we want to help them out.
And you're veteran friendly as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We talked about that during the break. We have priority services for veterans and their eligible spouses, and that's quite cool. And if for any reason you have kind of a hardship, whether it's a disability, you've been out of work a long time, perhaps age component, there's a whole gamut of qualifiers. You get to meet directly with what's called a Disabled Veterans Outreach Program Specialist, or DVOPS, and they will work with you one-on-one, and we have great success with our veterans.
That's wonderful.
You mentioned earlier that after the summer, things usually look better as far as the employment in the big picture, the big numbers. And I wondered if that was because of people hiring for the holiday season, which is just a few months away.
We kind of see that really start to pick up in October. What happens with the numbers, the September-October employment picture is that's looking at August and September when the education personnel, non-support or support personnel are going back to work, when the college students are going back to their schools.
Okay, right.
You do have hiring, and you definitely have some seasonal hiring for the holidays, no doubt about that.
But even if it's called seasonal, it still might be a way to get the foot in the door.
Certainly.
Right, and then it might be more than seasonal.
Yeah, definitely. We see that for sure.
So, I mean, so many businesses. This job, I started this with a part-time position, and it was my way to get the foot in the door. I took the job nobody else wanted.
You've got to do that. You've got to be brave enough to volunteer, maybe to do part-time, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Get the foot in the door, become a known entity, and you're well positioned for that full-time position.
And you feel better as an individual, as a person, like you're giving back to the community.
Definitely, and it also fills those gaps in your resume. So when a hiring manager looks at that and says, "Well, what did you do for these 8 months or 2 years?" You're not just saying, "Well, I watched TV."
Yeah, right.
Imagine that.
Sure.
What kind of a job would that be? Laura, thank you for what you do. And before we run out of time, CareerSource CareerSource.clm.com is the website.
That's it.
Share this video with somebody out there. Whether Laura talked about the job of your dreams or not, they probably have it over at CareerSource.
Yes, sir.
Some way to, and you got 3 counties you cover: Citrus, Levy, and Marion. So that's important too. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.